Hello and welcome. We're so happy to have you here with us today. And we have our special guest, Dr. Merrylue Martin, who is president and CEO of the Job Joy Group, whose mission is to help large and small organizations exceed business metrics by making their employees feel uniquely respected, appreciated, fulfilled, and engaged. She's a celebrated leadership strategist, coach, and best-selling author of The Big Quit Survival Guide, Tools and Tactics to Attract the Best, Retain Top Performers, and Nail the Talent War. As a Fortune 50 senior executive, management consultant, and business owner, Merrylue has comprehensive experience in creating and delivering real-world strategies that get results. Dr. Martin is an honored graduate of the Women's Leadership Program at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. Her doctorate is in organizational leadership and published dissertation from Pepperdine University and covered the research that resulted in business and leadership practices that directly drive an employee's decision to stay or leave an organization. When not working with people leaders, Merrylue enjoys interior design, dreaming up concoctions in her art studio, and writing puppet scripts for the preschool crowd, who remain her toughest critics to date. I love all of this, Merrylue, and if I just may say, and one of my favorite friends of all time and dear person. Thank you for joining us today. It's a privilege to have you on.
Well, thank you, Liz. I certainly appreciate the opportunity. And yes, I will echo the quality and appreciation of the friendship that we have had for many years. And what a great opportunity to be able to give back to the community of listeners that you have in what we get to do today. It's a great project and wonderful opportunity that you're providing for folks as well. So thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, I'm so excited. And Merrylue, for those of you who don't know her, is one of my favorite people to just brainstorm with. She can pick apart my brain and ask me questions. And that's one main reason she's here today, is because we're going to make sure you're not pushing that snooze button in life. We're going to make sure that you are planning or already maybe in your retirement and that you make it worthwhile. So we're going to help you with some questions today. And as Metamorphosis mentors, we're not here to give you all the answers, actually. We're here to help you ask the right questions so that your life is full and you are doing what you're made to do and what is designed in your life with joy, right?
Absolutely, with joy.
Right. So let's talk about just the first steps. We have talked, you and I have talked about so many things that we could talk about today that it's just a mountain instead of a molehill. So what we're going to talk about today is just the beginning. When you're starting to get lined up for your retirement, what does that look like? What does that mean? And what do you plan? Because most every other part of our life that we've engaged in, every step of the way, we've had someone to lead us and guide us, walk alongside us. But now we're in the retirement part where all those people have died. And so now it's on us. And it's like, okay, well, you've reached this pinnacle of life. So just go on, live your life and have fun. There's more to it than that, isn't there?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think sometimes, almost as a metaphor, I think of transitioning towards retirement like a dog barking after a car. Here's this dog, right? And the wildest dream of this dog is to get this car. And they're barking and barking, and they're just all this anticipation and excitement. And I can't wait till I can get this car. And then one day it gets the car. And it's
Boom.
like, what the heck do I do now?
I love that.
And I just think sometimes that's that feeling. It's all of a sudden, okay, you've got the car. You got the car. So what are we going to do with that? And sometimes that can be so overwhelming. We go into pause or freeze form with a little bit of, I'm not sure what that next step is. And I think it's a perfect time, Liz, as you were saying, to just start with the questions. I think so many of us going after whatever that retirement transition world looks like, we forget to ask the why first. And sometimes when we're very busy and we're anticipating completing a goal or the next accomplishment, and we're so focused on that process, we lose sight of what it is we're even going after.
Yes, totally agree.
Right. And so I think it's important to stop right there and quit moving forward, take a minute and decide which direction you want to think of going. And we don't often give ourselves that luxury.
Absolutely true. And the other side of that coin is you and I both experienced friends, family members, whoever, who have said, yes, I'm going to retire in the first 6 months, year, or whatever. I'm just going to do nothing except what I really want to do. And then they do nothing. And then that year or 6 months, whatever goes by, and they're still doing nothing. And they're
Yeah.
just kind of in this little rut and they've got this new routine because we're used to routines in our life when we're in the working world. And so now it is become just such a different routine that it's just not helpful because we don't know how to get out of that rut or if we should get out of that rut. And if so, what does it look like? And can't even get our head above that at the moment.
Yeah,
So,
you're so right, Liz, because for so much of our working life, our family life, so much of it is built around structure.
yes.
And I'll give you an analogy. When I was working on my doctorate, to do that, anyone can get a doctorate. You can just, once you're determined to do it, you can do it. There's no magic to that. But what it takes, though, is the structure and the discipline to get through those first 3 years of coursework where you need to show up. Back in my day, it was in person, you had an instructor, you had deliverables, and you had this structure. So, what's interesting though, when you look at doctoral students, there's less than 5% after they finish the coursework that actually get the degree. And
Wow.
the reason for that is you no longer have that structure. Now
Oh,
it's up to you. You still pay credits while
yes.
you're working on this dissertation and you have an advisor, but you're on your own, kid. You're on your
Oh,
own to make sure you're working on that dissertation, to make sure you're carving out that discipline. And that structure is no longer handed to you. So
wow.
you can imagine, fill in the blank of any reason that life could get in the way. And
Wow.
I think that's much the way people go into the retirement piece. And it's here I've had this world mapped out for me for so long. And now I'm like a puddle. I'm like, I'm jello right now. I need a new mold.
Right, exactly. Well, and I think that goes with any type of business world as well. Most of us have goals that we set for ourselves each year or every 5 years or whatever in business that we're going to achieve this, we're going to get this done. And now we get to retirement and what are those goals and why do we have goals and do we need goals and what does that look like? And our world before has been tied up with our relationships that we have in our businesses and maybe vendors or maybe people we actually work with and those types of things. And now that all changes too, because in order to keep those relationships, you have to be very intentional about scheduling time to get
Right.
together, to talk, where otherwise you would be in the office with them and you would just talk all the time and it becomes totally different things. So
Yeah.
let's talk about what retirement is. Is
Yeah.
it compared to like transitioning or reinventing
Yeah.
ourselves, what do all these terms mean?
It's a really good question. And I think that's really one of the first questions that I would encourage people who are leaving the workplace, going into a different lifestyle to first ask themselves, how do you define retirement? And I have a funny story. My brother, who's been a teacher for 40 years, he's recently retired. And I left the corporate world years ago and have been on my own for a number of years. And My brother the other day, as he knows the work I'm doing and the busyness and the structure I've created, he said to me, I thought you were retired. And he has defined retirement very differently. For him, it's all about his hobbies. It's about his, I want to wake up and do this, and when I want to do that. And he's not working per se. And by appearances, he thinks I still am.
Ah,
And I
yes,
think what we need to define going into retirement is, what do you still love?
yes,
Do you remember that question we've often been asked? If money were no object and
yes,
time were no object, what would you do?
yes. Very good. Yes,
And
that's
I think that's where we first have to define it. So I like to say to my brother and to people around me who say, I thought you retired, I
uh-huh.
first like to say, well, there's lots of definitions of
Right,
retirement.
right.
I prefer to say I transitioned.
Yes, yes,
I have just moved all the energy and the passion and
yes.
the things I love to do to another space that,
Love that.
yeah, gives me that satisfaction.
Yes. And I think that's just a really healthy space to be in. And I think that uh it is what we define it to be, but we have to keep asking ourselves those questions. And what brings us joy? What have we always wanted to do that we've never tried? Kind of a bucket list maybe, or maybe a bucket list is part of it, right?
Mhm.
I know that you have have really blossomed and bloomed in ways that I'm not even sure that you realized that you were going to, or really maybe even intentionally started out that way. Would
Right.
you say that?
Well, yeah. And I think the one thing I would encourage folks that are moving into a different part of their life is also face on paper, at least write them down. What are you afraid of?
Oh, that's good.
What could be holding you back?
Mhm.
It's easy for someone to say, well, yeah, I have no fear. I'll just go try something. And if it
Right,
fails, it fails. Well, not everyone's coming from that perspective.
right.
Many people are very hard on themselves,
Yes,
have been very successful in their working career, and now maybe be more hesitant to step out and say,
yes,
but what if that fails? What if I don't? So what? The
yes,
bigger regret's going to be you didn't try.
yes,
I
yes.
don't see people on their deathbed being sorry they tried something and failed. I see more
Absolutely.
people regretting, I should have, could have, would have if I had have.
And that's a really good point. Maybe to help some people discover what that is, to imagine themselves on their deathbed and, okay, what did you wish that you would have done that you haven't
Right,
done yet, right?
right, right.
And, maybe, what do you wanna be when you grow up?
That's a great question, because we're all still growing by the grace of God. Every day
Totally.
we're a new creature.
Yes,
And
and I think that's a really good point that you brought up is, we're growing, we're still growing, and because I think many people visualize that when someone's retired, they're going downhill.
Mhm,
No, not necessarily. It can be that way, but it's a choice, and
mhm,
I know that there's a lot of things that enter into it that may help you choose differently. Maybe there's health issues or mental issues and things of that nature,
sure.
but there are workarounds, and there are places to find joy in whatever circumstances that we have had placed upon us. So I think it's finding that joy spot and, like pressure points that we have in our body, making that a pressure point, to find our joy. Uh,
Yeah.
so, like, maybe what are the hobbies or interests that you want to do the majority of your time, or do you want to just have that be the majority of your time doing hobbies and interests, or do you want that to be just a small part of your time? And, uh, just different questions and asking differently and looking at it.
I agree. And one of the places to start is just a very simple life wheel. And you don't need to do anything fancy. Just draw a circle on a piece of paper
Mhm.
and pretend it's a pie.
Right.
And start sectioning out pieces of this pie that would give you joy.
Yes.
And I'll give our listeners just a simple note in managing life. Balance is the key.
Yes.
So, and I have an example to say where I was at a point where I had sold a business and I had a lot of free time and I was trying to redefine me. And I was younger, I was in my 40s, and I thought, well, what do I want to do with my days? Well, for the first 6 months, I literally just ate junk food, had massages, got my nails done, had lunch with girlfriends, and I'm telling you, it was heavenly for
Love it.
about 6 months.
Right.
And we are wired to feel valued. We are
Yes.
wired, and the number one rally cry of even new employees coming into the workplace today is, I want a purpose. I want to make a difference. And
Right.
that will not go away.
Yes.
So, in
Yes.
retirement, in that transition, piece of that pie needs to be work related in the sense of I have a mission and I have a purpose and I have a task. And you can have the junk food and all the stuff around it and enjoy that too, but it can't be just all that.
Exactly. And I think it's important to note too that there's so many things that enter into this, your health, your
Yeah,
spiritual well-being, just uh, and purposefully growing, because if you're not intentionally growing, then you're going backward. You're not hitting a plateau and staying there. As
right.
life doesn't work that way. And you and I have talked, we both have a similar faith walk that we've done, and a deep faith in our God. And
Yes,
we've also talked about the fact that we feel that we've been called to use what we've experienced in our life, all the opportunities we've been given, and
mm.
some may not call those opportunities that we've been given in our life, but they turned out to
Their
be
experiences.
that's right, exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
hopefully we've learned from them, and but we can't just have a life full of great things, and we have to have the other things to keep that balance and to know and appreciate when things are good. But we are given those opportunities to learn from and to share
right,
with others, not just hold it inside. I think
right.
a lot of people, when they retire, they think, "Okay, I'm done with that,
I'm
so
done.
now I'm just holding it in." But we are given those opportunities to share with others and to bring others alongside of or us, or walk along others,
Right,
beside them, to shore them up during their life opportunities and help them to see things maybe that they're not able to see because they're in so much stress or
right,
sorrow and things of that nature. So
right. I
what
love that. I love that.
what has been one of your most difficult opportunities that you've been given, Mary Lou?
Oh, goodness. One of the most difficult opportunities. Let me think. I would
Not
say,
nothing like throwing that out there to you.
yeah, I have to think about that.
Okay,
I would say, I don't know if I can come to a specific one, but I will give you the general feeling.
sure.
Something that somebody's asked me to do that I feel I don't have the capability to do it.
Okay.
And what my fear would be and prevent me from wanting to do it would be, I will let you down.
Oh, yes.
If you're asking me to do something, I'd say, oh, I'm not that girl.
Uh-huh.
However, when my back's been up against the wall and I have no choice, I'll say, well, I'll give it my best shot and I'll give you what I got and I'll do the best I can.
Yes.
And even when I didn't hit an A plus,
Uh-huh.
and again, I'll give those feelings, I felt even better because I stretched enough to try.
Yes.
And what the gift given back to me was, you don't have to be perfect.
Yes. Absolutely.
You know what? In fact, we like you better when you're real and you're not perfect. And
Yes.
and and those were difficult challenges for me. And there's been some many examples, mini ones along the way, micro ones that I can think of. But yeah, anything that I don't feel I can do and I was challenged that I had to do, um, I'd put myself through that same challenge again, just the growth because of it.
Yes. And that is how we grow.
Yeah.
We've also talked about the fact that nowhere in the Bible does it tell us to be comfortable. We're not called to
Oh,
be
yeah.
I mean,
You
it's
yeah,
quite the opposite. The
yeah,
Bible is full of stories of, struggle and toil and pain as
yeah,
well as joy, but
yeah,
the joy comes out of the struggle and
the
s
growth.
yes, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
we are not called to be comfortable, and if you're comfortable in listening to us right now, get off your chair and get out there and make yourself uncomfortable
Do
because
something scary.
that's
Can I share a brief story that will bring
please.
this home?
Yes.
So back in the 60s in Arizona desert, there
Yeah.
was an experiment, and anyone can Google it, and many of our listeners may have heard of it. It was called the biosphere.
Yes.
And the experiment was these giant bubbles, if you will, that were created there in the desert. And the idea was to create the perfect combination of growth conditions in order to maximize yield in fauna, flower, trees, crops, all of this. So these scientists were brought together all over the world and they worked on this project. And sure enough, it was interesting, the perfect soil, the perfect humidity, the perfect temperature, the perfect light, shade, food, fertilizer, you name it. And they all worked on this, and everything was growing at massive rates of speed, developing as they thought, with one exception. In one of the biosphere bubbles, they had housed a group of trees. And what they discovered after a number of few years, all the trees were dying.
Wow.
Now that doesn't make sense, right? You've got
Right.
humanity controlled everything.
Right.
Well, with good intentions to factor in and out what the optimal conditions would be, they decided that to get this tree to be what it needed to be, they would factor out wind.
Really?
Wind is
Oh,
an
wow.
agitator. Wind would
Oh
be
my
knocking
goodness.
this tree
Yeah.
about and breaking branches and doing all
Right.
these things. Well,
Right.
bottom line, here's what they learned.
Oh my
The very agitation was exactly what that tree needed. So that root ball was moving about in that earth and could therefore absorb the nutrients.
oh my goodness.
And so we need to
Oh,
factor back wind
yes. Yes.
in our
Yes.
lives.
Yes. Oh, that's really good. I love that story. And I literally just saw the biosphere listed on things to do in Arizona not too long ago.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
So I need to
Need
check
to
that
go
out
see
for
it and
sure.
see if the trees are growing.
Right? Exactly.
But with all good intentions,
Yes.
we factor out, and I'm doing a lot of work in the workplace today, helping leaders just to become temporarily comfortable with discomfort.
Yes.
We don't want constant discomfort. That's
Right.
completely disruptive. But we have got to train people to tolerate temporary discomfort. And I think we're seeing a whole generation where, out of love, that discomfort has been removed.
I agree.
We're
Yes.
not, and that was a disservice to
Yes.
this group. We're
I
not,
agree.
we
Yeah.
didn't help them.
Yes, because they don't know how to I think that's another reason we have so much anxiety in our world today is because
Indeed.
we
Indeed.
just let people be anxious, which is I'm not saying right, wrong, and indifferent. I'm just saying that we need to teach people how to deal with anxiety and how to
Right.
work through it, not
Right.
just sit in it because
Right.
it just feeds on itself. And
Right.
what you say every day is what you hear yourself say, and it becomes true.
Yeah.
So if you say, I just have this anxiety, or I'm so anxious about this, or I don't feel good about this, or whatever you are saying is what you are hearing. And statistics show that what you say and hear is what is.
That's
And
right. That's
so
right. That's
just
why
be careful.
I think it's so important to bring trusted people. I think
Yes.
everyone needs to have their own board of directors
Oh, that's
as
good.
they go into life, right?
Yes.
And as they transition to a different normal, as we were talking about
Yes.
retiring, transitioning, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I think put together your own board of directors with trusted people that can give you feedback, and community, as you said at the beginning, is just a natural need we all have. And you can look at all the research. The
Yeah,
people that live the longest, the one
yes,
thing they have in common are a sense of community and building relationships. And we
yes,
can tend to want to pull in, be isolated,
yes,
and that's not going to fuel anything that will give you that satisfaction of enjoying your time on earth as a human being. We're wired for people. And
yes.
I think that's an important piece to our transitioning years.
I totally agree. Even though they may drive us crazy at times, right?
Oh, yes, yes.
But
People
again,
can,
that's
yes, you love them and you're constantly annoyed by them.
yes, exactly. But isn't that that wind and blowing
That's
in
that
your ears, right?
wind.
That's what makes it worthwhile. Mary
Yeah,
Lou, I hate to bring this to an end because you and I could talk for hours, but we're
sure.
going to stop this first podcast with you here. We will have further podcasts coming up in the near future, and so excited to share you with my peeps, and hope that they will get to know and love you just as I have over the years. And thank you again for your friendship, for your agreeing to be on my podcast today. Any last words that you would have to say?
Oh, I would just say to everyone out there, boy, you're in good hands if you're listening to something Liz is doing, because she's intentional, she's directive, and her heart is so much about giving back. So thank you for the opportunity to get to be part of that. It's
I'm
really
so
been a pleasure.
It's great. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you and all that you brought to us today. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.